It's 11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
GearWebsites.com is your source for firearms-based playing cards and books. We also have mugs, shirts, and posters with designs that we've made live. Of course, we have patches. Every Friday is Free Patch Friday. We appreciate your support. Thank you for shopping at GearWebsites.com.
And welcome, everybody. As you can see, the co-host is sound asleep. We're getting ready to get the show going here. Get this back on the screen. Push the co-host down into the corner down over here. Oh, we don't have our banner running. So we always have a banner down here. It says our Patreons make it possible for us to spend time on projects like these. Thank you. Yep, our Patreons are the people that subscribe to our projects, our different live things, our different internet-based things, and our different adventures. So I want to thank those folks. They stay together, stay connected over on Patreon, and I like to mention them on every show. All right, so we go live every week, every day, almost. But when we do, we are trying to focus on things. We're not just going live for the heck of it. We're not just going live to fill space. Let's try to move that ball forward. Let's try to get something accomplished online. So on Wednesdays, our goal is to take the Instagram, take a look at it, and then push it up onto the YouTube. In the process, we post the links to it and the stuff that we're going to be looking at around the internet. So onto some different platforms and in front of different eyeballs. And it's because a lot of different, well, at least my experience, people on Instagram are kind of different than the people on YouTube. And everything we're pushing up into the blogs and stuff is probably outside people's realm. So mixing things up and creating awareness has value. So let's get into it. So we're not looking at our account. Instead, we're going to be going into the stuff that we've saved throughout the week to take a look at. And let's dig in. I'll try to remember where we started or where we ended last week. And feel free if you're watching live. Looks like a bunch of people are joining us live. It also looks like I'm having bad internet. Let me go take a look at it. And, oh no, it's working okay. So feel free to say hey. Now I've got hiccups. If you're listening in the future as a podcast, let us know in the comments which podcast platform you enjoy. We podcast to all of them, most all of them. So, we get a lot of thumbs up and stuff, but not always comments. So let us know what's going on out there. Mike White saying, hey, welcome from California. Yeah, I kind of figured we'd meet up at the show also, but probably could have done better at planning that, I suppose. Let's see. So we have a question on the poll over on the YouTube side. So if you are joining us live, you get a little bit extra interaction. You can participate in the poll. It actually is free today. We've arranged it with YouTube. Normally, there's different situations for different people out there. But for us, YouTube has made the polls completely free. So all you got to do is vote in it, and it doesn't cost you even a dime. So the question today is, how long will Instagram be around? Will it be around for less than 3 years, 4 to 7 years, 8 to 11 years, or more than 12 years? And right now, as we speak, all the votes, 100% of the votes, are for more than 12 years. So if you're listening in the future, you can be part of that poll. Just leave a comment out there. But if you're listening right now, you get to make the little lines move in the poll by voting over there. So go for it. Let's see. I'm pretty sure we talked about some of this stuff last week. Let's start with Michael Cargill. So host of Come and Talk It, owner of the... what's the name of his shop? It's not Central Texas Gunworks, is it? Yeah, it is Central Texas Gunworks, and of course the Cargill the Cargill lawsuit that's going to the Supreme Court. He sued the government essentially for the bump stocks, the decision on the bump stocks, and now that's going to the Supreme Court. So, regular person that you could have been following on the radio all this time, and this picture of him looking at the Supreme Court building. I don't know when that was taken, because the last time I saw the Supreme Court building, there was no fences around it. So I don't know if this is either a long time ago or fairly recently, I guess. This is Stephanie from Machine Gun Nest, and well, I'm assuming she's still from there. All right, well, is this better? Bring everything back up here now. It's the co-host's fault. He doesn't do a very good job of prepping this at all. He had way too many browser tabs open. I told him, but he did. He said, "Oh yeah, I checked it," and he didn't check it. He doesn't do a very good job of prepping this at all. Oh yeah, okay, it's working. So yeah, now we'll have to go all the way back to Instagrams. It's messed up. I apologize for everybody here. Look, he doesn't even seem to care. He's just sitting here. Oh yeah. He'll get a whooping. Don't worry, he'll get a whooping for it. All right, so I could not run the microphone cable right underneath of his bed, but I don't feel like changing it. I don't know what happens. Like I say, it's probably him. Probably he doesn't do something right before the show. We'll jump back into the Instagrams. Look, here's a picture of him being lazy. Here's proof of him being lazy on Instagram. And we'll jump back into saved and into the saved folder here. I would like to open up my tubes, the used tubes, and see if Toby's live yet. Doesn't look like it, so we'll put that over there. And we're jumping into, oh, no, that's the posts already. So, sorry about the interruption. Let's act like we're just starting from scratch. So we go live on Wednesdays. We take a look at Instagram. We put it on the rest of the internet. That's our goal. We were about to listen to Phil Smith. Well, actually, I don't know where it stopped. Oh, he's Union. He could be. He's in the Pug Union. Okay, so do you know where it ended? Where did it stop? Somebody got screwed out of some audio there. So let's see. We were taking a look at this meme thing, which I don't get it. It seems like a nice meme. It's like a good one. Talked about the Esotech bag, which is cool and made in USA and in multicam. Talked about MMP guns in Phoenix, or at least outside of Phoenix someplace, that helps promote or whatever, produce, what am I trying to say? Put on the 2A rally here in Arizona. Am I repeating myself? I don't know when the sound went out. So now we'll go back. We're about to listen to Philip Smith, and I had the sound off. So let's see if I can turn the sound back on quickly.
National President and founder of the National African American Gun Association. I am in a great mood today because I get a chance to talk about NAGA. A lot of people have questions, even though they might belong to the organization, and more importantly, the general public. I'm going to have a video that explains a little bit about the foundation of the organization. I won't be too long, but I think it's really important that I get a chance to speak our perspective to the larger public, and of course, our NAGA members. The organization was started February 28th in 2015. And when I started the organization, I wanted, very simply, without any bells and whistles, I wanted an organization that spoke to our people culturally, as well as technically when it comes to shooting a firearm.
All right, we're not going to listen to the whole thing. Plus, that's probably copywriting me. But yeah, I like NAGA for lots of reasons. Big one is they are not top down, where they offer national curriculum and local chapters follow it. Instead, it's an organization of local chapters that values the difference between all those chapters and the different strategies and the different applications of their overall goal, which was, like you just said, getting people more aware of guns, right? Their rights. So happy birthday to NAGA, 9 years old.
Philip Smith, national president. And
so anybody that goes, blah, 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 more inclusivity is 9 years old. Like they're 9 years out of touch. Let's get to Rick Ector. Says re-elect Rick Ector to the NRA Board of Directors. Ballots are in your March issue of your magazine. So a couple of people that you definitely want to vote for. We want to be part of the change as the NRA changes. everybody said, "Oh, I'll support it when. I'll support it if. Maybe I would think about supporting it when." Well, what happened? What now? Huh? So a big way to do that is Rick Ector. Another way is I'm looking on the ballot here to see if, yep, right there, Jeff Knox, Tombstone, Arizona, and I forget the other three dudes that he's working with, and getting people into the NRA that understand the situation, get that battleship back on a track that everyone can, throw $30 at and go back to ignoring, I guess. I don't know. But Rick Ector was elected already, and he's now running for re-election on that board of something like 72 people. So anybody who's a life member of the NRA, anybody who's been a member of the NRA for over 5 years consecutively, I think, gets a ballot in the February edition of the magazine. And like it says there, you tear out the ballot and you send it in with your votes. Or you could do nothing or complain about everything. Let's see, then you got NSSF using Maj over here for Black History Month. It says Black History Month should celebrate black gun ownership. Throughout the month of February, America celebrates Black History Month. There is much to celebrate for the contributions African Americans have made to our nation. The thing is, this is on the 28th, so it's been cool to see something like this maybe every day if they wanted, or every week. Goes on for about 5 paragraphs, so I'm not going to read the whole thing. Now we got the Marshall Museum, The Invincible Marshall by Byron Alexis. Beautiful mural in downtown Fort Smith pays tribute to the Old West icon, Deputy U.S. Marshal Bass Reeves. So that's the Lone Ranger, essentially. And another reason to go to Fort Smith, I suppose. Fort Smith is also where isn't that where the BB gun museum is? The Daisy BB gun museum?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving the needle here. Take a look at this incredible video. This is a continuation of El Mayo's faction of the Sinaloa cartel just across from Arivaca, just inside Mexico. Look at the human smuggling operation here. Never mind the camp, but look at how they treat men, women, and children. You always hear me talk about how people are now a commodity to these cartels at a level we've never seen before. Look at as El Jefe here takes pictures of his commodity, these children and these families, right before they cross into the United States, passed off to an NGO known as No More Deaths, who greets them as they come into the country illegally, and then picks them up, puts them in the back of a pickup truck, and transports them to a camp. Under USC 1824, ladies and gentlemen, that is human smuggling. You cannot do that. If you knowingly engage in the transportation, harboring, or in custody of anyone who just illegally entered the country, you are smuggling. These people should be arrested for what you see here. And yet, nothing is.
So it's interesting. Arivaca is where we used to go fishing all the time. I haven't gone fishing there in a while, but it's about halfway between the border and Tucson, a little bit closer to the border maybe. I'm assuming this means this was south of there, so right at the border south of Arivaca. But yeah, the commodities. I heard a really interesting interview with the deputy sheriff of Pinal County, and he talked about how when they bring drugs across, it costs a certain amount of risk, certain amount of effort to bring the drugs across. Once they sell the drugs, that's it, right? And often they don't get paid until the drugs reach where they're supposed to go, because they're getting paid to get them there, not just to act like it. So they don't get paid until the drugs get into the hands of the person who paid them to get them there. So if they lose them along the way, in other words, then they've lost everything. So with humans, they get paid before they head out, and if they lose them, what do they care? Because they already got paid. If they lose them, more than likely they're still trying to get into the U.S., so they come back in, they're going to get paid again. And if they can't pay, and often even if they can pay, they'll extort them once they're over here. And there's probably some that they don't extort, but typically, they have all the potential to extort them. So if they drag them to Phoenix, unless they had something to do in Phoenix, they're going to, be indentured for any further into the country. Pretty interesting way that it's changing up down there. Let's see. So moving along to Vegas, we have the gun store up there, one of the rental ranges in Vegas. I guess this little puppy came by, and they were thinking about keeping. I mean, I told them they should hire the puppy, but I think it's a cute little puppy if you like furry dogs that are tiny. Oops. Coming back up to Louisiana. So this is the NRA talking about Louisiana moving it from the Senate to headed to the desk of the governor. This was 6 days ago, and I put a poll out there just before the news, just when I kind of realized, oh, wait a minute, we got two different states that are heading toward constitutional carry. So I put a poll out on YouTube on which one would win, and nobody could make a real decision. In fact, I think South Carolina won the poll, because I can go look. And before you know it, boom, we've got Louisiana not waiting around at all. So let's go over to the YouTubes and let's take a look at that poll real quickly. 50-50. So I think it used to be South Carolina, but people that are coming across it now pretty much know the future compared to the poll.
All right. I'm in Albany, New York for my official position in law enforcement to go to a ATF ghost gun seminar. Give you a little peek of what I'm going to be walking into here in a second. New York State Troopers, New York State Police. So, wish me luck. Let me know what questions you have and what I should ask. All right, I'm in Albany, New York.
So I had asked him if there was a curriculum available, and he said that it was just one piece of paper handout. It looks like most of the other people were just being challenging to the ATF or whatever.
Both of them can shoot right through this 75-round clip. 75-round clip. 75-round clip. 75-round clip. Both of them can shoot right through this 75-round clip.
So I've watched a chunk of this, and it was hard to watch. Let's just put it that way. I don't know if anybody else has watched this whole thing. I know there's been a lot of parodies like this of it. Laughing is what they want you to do. Holding them accountable is what they don't expect us to do. Tactical games, pretty interesting situation. Looks like they've already been in full swing here. It says sold out. So the first one already happened, though, in Sierra Vista here in Arizona, where Tulsi. Okay, I can't remember her name. The one running for president who lost, she won this thing. Tulsi, I can't think of her name. Somebody's gonna know her name. If you're listening to this in the podcast, honk your horn if you know her name. Then the next one will be in Florida. Then you got your Texas, you got your Idaho, you got your Pennsylvania, your North Carolina, your Iowa, Iowa, New Hampshire, Utah, and then South Carolina. It goes all over the place. So interesting. I'm going to be adding those to the calendar here. It's one of the reasons I had so many tabs open before. I don't know if I knew about National Anthem Day. I don't think I have it in my list, so I'm going to be putting this in my list. I don't know if I can play this, so I'm not playing it. Gabbard? Is that what her name is? Thanks. Yeah. Isn't she the one that ran for president? Thanks, Gizzard. So, she just came in second for the female side of tactical games. Looks like the Gunmakers match is getting underway. It's in Pennsylvania again, April 27th of this year. So this is the fourth annual. Pretty neat. Wouldn't mind getting to be able to see that one day. Then you've got the another one from North American Arms, This is their new, I forget what they call it, their new-ish what do they call it? Now I forget what they called it, but it's essentially a pug mixed with a Sidewinder. I have a Sidewinder. I've definitely got pugs, but I'm not a big fan of the Sidewinder. So I can see how this is different. So I'm looking to see, what's happening here. Be cool to see one. I got to see it in a case at SHOT Show, but I didn't fiddle with one. All right, we got Project Appleseed, an educational as well as marksmanship organization. It says, on this day in history, March 4th, 1776, Washington takes someplace, Dorchester Heights, forcing the British to abandon Boston within weeks. Washington wanted to capture the area but was reluctant. Taking the area would give the Americans ability to rain down fire on the city and prevent ships from resupplying by sea. Benedict Arnold and Ethan Allen captured a huge supply of weapons at Fort Ticonderoga, I think is what it is. Holy moly, I had no idea it was like an hour long, so we're not going to read that whole thing. That's a lot of writing right there. But Day in History, it's good. I like those. I try to post those whenever. This one's a little bit more history than I'm into, so I guess I'll do that.
He's going to make it gun for you.
Project Appleseed for that. Here's another of the things to laugh at from this propaganda piece from the ATF.
He's going to make a new gun for you. He's going to make a new gun for you.
Okay, so he's going to make it a gun for you, suggesting that it is not yet a gun. However, they're suggesting that it needs to be regulated because, dun dun dun, it's also a gun. So it's either a gun and he's going to make it more of a gun for you, or he's implying it is not a gun and he's about to make it into one. So, one other thing to be upset about, and these are just the three big ones. The third one is he can't put the Glock together or take it apart or whatever, but there's a lot more in there that's cringeworthy. If it was cringeworthy if it was a comedy show, it's more than frustrating since it's a person who's appointed director under the watch of someone who's incompetent to be doing any enforcement or regulation changes here. And, we're dealing with massive consequences that we shouldn't be taking lightly. What happened? I got this in here twice. I think I probably have this under Guns for Everyone and maybe some other organization. Or am I going the wrong way? Yeah, I got it under here, under two different places, that's all. Now we have an organization called In the Forefront Washington from the University of Washington. It says, join Forefront Suicide Prevention for this free 1-hour virtual event where we hear from Paige Gaines of 911's, I don't know what that means, 911 Sane Jane? I have no idea what that means. A powerful storyteller and advocate. Paige will share her own mental health challenges, her experience with suicide, and her journey to educate on the uniqueness of these challenges within Black communities. The series is presented in partnership with, if you don't put capitalization in there, I'm not trying to say your shit, because it looks like Washington Department of Health maybe, or it looks like Wade PT Health, so there's no way to know. So it's cool. Another focus on suicide prevention. We do ourselves a lot of good by making more awareness of suicide prevention, seeing as the exploitists are going to use those deaths, to take our rights and our property. It's annoying. Here's the guy not being able to work in a Glock. To be honest, it's really frustrating. Try to take a Glock apart if you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
So again, we can make fun of them or be frustrated and hold accountable. So we got Women for Gun Rights posting, Women in Arms posting, I guess because they're all wearing their Women for Gun Rights stuff, shirts. But this is the ladies from it is a Sisters in Arms, a shooting. Wait, Sisters in Arms. Okay, I can't remember now. And then Mary from Connecticut. Then we've got Faster Saves Lives, saying after you stop the killing, now you've got to stop the dying. Jim, a quote by Jim, the founder saves Faster Saves Lives. So it's a good one because if you're thinking about it, after you stop the bad person from being bad and hurting people, you've got to stop people from being succumbing to their wounds, right? From that person, from inaction, letting that person have hurt more people than they might have. And that's a big factor that I don't think gets looked at because, of course, we're talking about the lives of innocent people in situations where somebody savagely attacked them based on trying to be infamous with the media and knowing that if they use certain things in certain places, the media will immediately give them the infamy that there's craving. So when that happens, police response is varied and either in time or reaction. And in that meantime, in that reaction time is when, just going to say, people bleed out, when people who succumb to their wounds. And that means people who are punctured bleed out, and people who are inexperienced with how to prevent blood loss are not going to understand what's necessary to prevent them from expiring from their wounds prematurely. And that's, I don't think that much of that is looked at because the number of, well, whatever, that's a whole other thing. But this is great because anybody that says that we're not being effective, another way to be effective is to use alternative strategies, alternative tactics to get the point across, to create awareness. And in this case, Faster Saves Lives is a great organization that provides all kinds of immediate action response to all kinds of disasters. And stopping someone from expiring from their wounds is ultimately important for anybody who's responsible for somebody else to know, right? And to have understanding of. So great post. Probably didn't do it justice there. So Tech, we talked about them before. This is another one of their bags. This is their Go bag with the VS17 orange inserts in it. Really high vis orange panels, maybe? I think that's what it looks like. Orange panels to drop in. That's pretty cool. The weekly wrap up a couple weeks back now, we talked about some non-electronic signaling options, some low-tech signaling options, I guess that's the way to say it. And having a high-vis panel like that is a great first step towards having some options for communications. Here we got Women for Gun Rights talking about Louisiana becoming the 28th state to pass constitutional carry. Notice people are going around saying permitless carry because they like to say the word less a lot, and they also like to confuse the issue, and they like to make up words. So it's plain old constitutional carry. It's what it always has been. It's what it's going to be. We have 28 states with it, unless you want to be one of them people that's like, well, we have 24 states with this, and we have 27 states with this, and we have 32 states with this. But yeah, 28 states with constitutional carry. It's Krabby, I think, linked me to somebody that was complaining that we can't get any more. They're super pessimistic. And to them, I say, I remember those days on the internet sitting around talking with people about how Illinois would never get concealed carry. That would never happen. How Wisconsin could never get concealed carry. That could never happen. How Florida could never get concealed carry. That could never happen. So Texas could never get constitutional carry. Could never happen. Well, here we are with 28 states. We're about to have 29 and then potentially 30. Craig doing his voting. Craig's running for office in California, getting much less attention than some other people who are running. And, well, it's the nature of the business, I suppose. Soldier Systems posting this epic picture from the very beginning of the Red Dawn movie. And great time to thank the San Diego gun owners of San Diego County Gun Owners, I guess, organization for hosting the gun show last weekend, and thank our Patreons for letting us get out there to, I hope it's not their last gun show. They were kind of alluding to the fact that because the turnout was so low that they're not going to do any more of these things, but hopefully we'll be able to encourage them to keep doing more. But yeah, it was not inexpensive to get out there. It was certainly worth it, though. And seeing Red Dawn on the big screen, freaking epic. So, Mike, were you out there for Red Dawn? I had Bit out there walking around a little bit after Red Dawn. This is a Cuban. Excuse me, Foss. This is a Cuban parachutes in. The Russians didn't come in until much, much later, once the Wolverines had required it. I heard somewhere that say this is from Sandhills. I heard somewhere that a good way to measure trust is by asking would I want them by my side in battle. This changed everything. I don't know where that one's from. So, I mean, I guess I get it. But my question was, or my response was, when in a war, do you wait for allies you might want rather than recognize the allies you have while you have them? So I don't know how long you've been around in this fight, but we've lost lots and lots and lots of good people for lots of reasons. But you can wait around forever. A great reason to not do shit is to wait around for perfection. Wait around for it to be the right time. So I'm not sure if that what this is really trying to say. I guess I understand that it's trying to say, like, you know, would you want somebody on your side who'd be good in battle? But I think I read it as, are you waiting for battle till you get the people by your side? One way to find if you want people that are worthy in battle, one way is to go into battle. Guess where people who are into battle are in the battle. Then you got Jenny. Most important things. I asked the most important things needed to be a successful athlete, and this is what you answered. The bigger the word, the more people said it. Let me know if you agree. So this is one of those word. I forget what they call that thing. Man, I've seen it a million times. But anyway, these deals where, like she said, the larger the word, the more often people responded with it. So kind of interesting. I noticed this is going around quite a bit. So most of the time, gun people don't do anything with the fads, but Jenny's out there doing stuff and participating in some of these phenomenons, these like things that go around. So cool to see it. And as an ambassador for the shooting sports, that's the kind of stuff that creates the description of, or gives one the why you would call her an ambassador for the shooting sports. Let's see. So this one is from a voluntary channel. If one rejects laissez-faire on account of man's failability and moral weakness, one must for the same reason also reject every kind of government action. I don't know who this is. Looks like some kind of a French dude or something. But what's laissez-faire? That's the market, leave the market alone. Like what'll happen. It's capitalism, essentially. So if one rejects capitalism because people are fallible and there's moral weakness, then isn't socialism also therefore vulnerable to those same things? Man's fallibility and moral weakness? I dig it. I don't know if I've heard this one before, but I like it. So anybody that wants to come at you with the communism or socialism bullshit because it's idealized to them and they're dumb and they don't realize that they've been fed a bunch of BS and they're being told that somehow what we got going on is somehow capitalism and it's failing. Well, challenge them on anything you want there, but I think this is an excellent facet or an excellent tangent to our tactic. Angle? That's what I'm looking for. Angle to approach them with. Neat one. I don't know who this guy is, though. If he's some kind of weirdo, then I don't like that. I take it back. This is epic. I haven't done this before with my bayonets, and I think I might do it somehow now. I got to figure out where to do it. But this is just 4 random ones that they bought. A couple of Russians, it looks like, maybe a Bulgarian, and then a couple other. Well, it just says over here. A couple of Plum Russian 6H5s. That's the ones on the left. Iraqi 6H4. That's probably the one in the kind of the middle there. And then the one on the right. Oh no, it's 2 Iraqis. Dang, you couldn't even get Iraqis back in the day. But it says a couple of Plum Russians. I hate to say it, but those aren't that plummy. I'm looking at them and they don't look that plummy to me. Usually if they're going to be plummy, you're going to see them in the sun. Scabbards are a little bit plummy. That's some plum right there maybe, but they're kind of black to me. A little bit plummy. Then they have a discussion over here about how much plum mags or bayonets are worth, and looks like a lot. What do you know? So this one is from our friends over in Albuquerque, BMC Tactical, posting that you can win this SIG thermal sight, which I'm curious about because it looks kind of like that Hollow Sun that came out. It was like vaporware 2 years ago. So maybe it's still out. I don't know. I haven't really looked. I think they were making one for a pistol this year, but I don't know if this ever came out or not. But something must have come out because here's a SIG version of a thermal. So I'm guessing it's digital thermal like the other one. And everybody who spends over $500 in a single visit is eligible to win. So I think that's a pretty cool way to encourage some sales. And couldn't get a better store to do it in Albuquerque. Check it out. Guns for Everyone. I think we talked about them earlier. Looks like Celebration Lunch. Our initiative to allow lawful users marijuana to obtain a concealed handgun permit was approved. We're going to start signature collections soon. So Colorado, once again, leading the way in challenging the status quo. And imagine if there's a place to do all that, it's going to be Colorado. Now, as far as what the hell's going on here, I have no idea. That's a lot of food, huh? So, whole mess aside, condiment type of stuff. Some kind of pea soup, maybe? I don't know. And then something on top of something over here. And then a giant plate of rice and beans. Like, I don't know where that is, but unless those are tiny plates or something, that seems like a ton of food. And then I think we'll wrap it up with the Independence Fund. And a couple of quotes here from that conversation that happened at SHOT Show. I do say this is probably the best SHOT Show that's happened. Definitely the top 3 of the ones I've ever been to, if not the top 1. It kind of depends on what you're talking, what you're using. But one of the reasons it was the best ones, and one of the things I'm most frustrated about is I missed this. But this seems like a really good initiative in the beginning of probably more to come on a focus on veteran suicide prevention. So this is from the Independence Fund, and that was a bunch of pictures. I was just cycling through there, but it says the weight. This is from Dan Holloway. The weight doesn't get lighter, you get stronger, and there's only one way to do that. Then it says we gathered an incomparable group of panelists to bring honest and unfiltered dialogue about veteran suicide to the forefront while in Las Vegas for SHOT Show. Thank you to our Targeting a Solution panelists who are committed to finding concrete solutions to combat the suicide crisis within the veteran community. So, looks like somebody's asking if they posted it. They did. You can watch it. It's about 2 hours, like an hour and 45 minutes long. Highly worth your time to watch. Oh, that's it. So Foss is taken off. Is he taken off because Cape Gunworks is going live? No. I don't think so. So now we're going to jump over to Cape Gunworks channel over there and see if they've posted their show yet. And they have not. So I'm not sure when he's going live, but we're right about an hour. So we'll probably, I know we're getting close to an hour though. So we're pretty much going to wrap it up. So that was the show today. Wanted to take a look at the Instagram for the week. Last week it was a little longer because we hadn't done it for a while, but this week was a little shorter, mainly because I haven't been on Instagram that much. So I did get a couple of things to add to the calendar in here. There's also, what was the other thing I was going to add to the calendar? I was going to add the tactical games to the calendar, and I saw that Professor Yamane posted something about a seminar that's coming up, and I'll add that to the calendar. Linked to us or something. So got a bunch of votes coming in on the poll. Let's mention that before we head out. Let's see, how long will Instagram be around? And I offered 4 options: less than 3 years, 4 to 7 years, 8 to 11 years, or more than 12 years. And right now, what's winning is a tie for more than 12 years and less than 3 years. So that's pretty weird. Then a bunch of votes for 22% of the votes for 4 to 7, and just a few votes for 8 to 11. So I don't know where I came up with those numbers. I just tried to pick something so that they weren't overlapping. But I'm not really sure if I have an opinion on it, other than we have seen platforms come and go. It hasn't happened too much with the major ones in a while. But what does that mean? You know, there was major television networks, and now people don't even know what I'm talking about. There was major cable company networks, and I guess those are kind of still around in versions. You know, there was whole types of platforms and stuff that have come and gone. So we'll see what happens with the next ones. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining. It's a unusual number of people joining the chat today live, more like our numbers for the podcast. So whichever way that's going, I'm not sure. Leave us some, comment if you're out there, and I'm assuming you're new, because there's just so many people joining us right now. It's crazy. So, I've seen the numbers go that high, but not on a daytime show for this show. So I'm just going to throw it up here. We've got the podcast over here. So if you are listening to this live, this is the recording of our podcast. We got that over on the Podbean. But for those that know, Podbean is just one place that, among many, when you post a podcast, it can also go to other places. So we do have it on the iTunes. We've got it on the Google, the Spotify, the Amazons, and iHeartRadio. Right on. Thanks, Ron, for joining us. We'll leave that be the last comment today. We do have a store, so everybody that's watching today, if everybody who's watching today bought one item from the store, we'd almost be back on the road again. So thanks everybody for joining us, even though nobody's commenting. I'm assuming it's all fake, or there's some kind of thing broken, but yeah, according to this, lots and lots of people are watching live right now. You can prove that by typing something in there, if you're really real and you speak English. But we'll leave the commercial for the store up here, and we'll do the long one so that people have a chance to type something in. Anyway, thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend.
Captain, a vessel approaching. On screen. We're being hailed.
Every weekend over at gearwebsites.com, our online store, we have free Patch Friday. And that means that every order placed on our store on Fridays is going to include at least one free patch. So that's every order with no coupons, no minimum order, no codes needed. You place the order on Friday, and when it arrives to you, it's going to have at least one free patch. Your support means a lot to us, and financial support is critical. So thanks again to the people who keep us online through purchases at gearwebsites.com.
So I'm just doing another quick refresh over here to see if Toby has posted today's show, and it has not. So I don't think I have anything. I'll just go ahead and end that. We got a lot of votes for less than 3 years right at the last minute. So somebody was out there alive. But I am going to try to see who I can't link to over here today then. And we're not linked to anything. So I'm just going to go find something that's in the future. Maybe Chris's show tomorrow. Looks like Dragon Man is hiring. Riding Shotgun with Charlie and Meet the Pressers have their shows coming up on Friday. Gizzard, have your show? Is your show already posted? I just found Chris's show though. I'll use this. All right, so now, yeah, that's weird. We got a lot of people watching, except they're all fake because no one's commenting. So they're either not speaking English, so they don't know what I'm saying, or they're fake, which is probably what it is. They're fake. Okay, but thanks everybody for joining, the real people for joining. And if you're listening to this podcast, we had a crazy amount of people join us live. Now, we did get a lot. We have a 7,000% increase in our podcast, but that's not really unexplainable since we, I mean, it's nice, but it's understandable, I guess, because we did not get very many viewers at all before. But now we have a lot of them. So, or at least we weren't recording them or whatever. We weren't counting. Now we're counting. So it's possible the people that are listening to the podcast are jealous of the live stuff and joining us live. But if that's the case, they're not commenting. So there's no way to know. Anyway, so we'll end it here with, let's go check out what's the newest thing over here. Looks like Tactical Rifleman's got some patches going out. We must have something else to end it on. We'll end it on this for the Patriot in the Dark. Patriot in the Dark out there.
Shit. Ninja? Ninja! Ninja!
It's 11:59 at Radio.